Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Coaching Corner with me, Jamila, aka the IEP Coach. As you are coming in, please drop in the comments where you are tuning in from. And welcome. For those of you who are new to the Coaching Corner, I am Jamila, aka the IEP Coach, and I am the founder and CEO of the IEP Coach LLC. We are an education company, and we specialize in supporting special education leaders of charter schools and their special education teams that are struggling to keep them out of litigation. All right, that's a little bit about what we do at the IEP Coach, and we go live every Tuesday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we talk about all things special education. Okay, so we always talk about our topic, and then we have time for Q&A. So if you have your questions, please hold on to your questions. You can drop them right there in the comments, and someone from my team will make sure that I see your question. All right, and tonight's topic is compliance versus reality in charter schools. Why paperwork isn't protection. All right, we are about to jump into this conversation, but before we do that, make sure you share out this live with as many people as possible, with leaders, charter school leaders, principals. Make sure you share out this live. And as I'm telling you to share it out, I am sharing it out as well. Ooh, it is freezing. It is cold. It snowed over the weekend. Oh, and it is cold, but we're going to make it through. We're going to get through this, all right? All right. So let's go ahead, share out this live, and we are going live on all of our social media platforms. We are live on our Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube pages, and we're going live on our TikTok page. All right. Hold up. Okay. Let me see. All right. So let me go ahead and let me share this. Okay. Alrighty. All right. And now we are going live on our TikTok page as well. All right. And before we jump into the topic, I just want to remind you all, we have our Progress Monitoring 101 webinar going on Tuesday, January the 27th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to go into the basics, sharing information about our framework that is being used in schools to help with their progress monitoring, to help you get your progress monitoring system in order and what you need to do that. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and drop that link right here in the comments. All right. Those of you who are tuning in on Instagram, you can go ahead and click the link in our bio and get the link to the webinar. If you're on TikTok, you can get the link right there in our bio. It'll take you right to the webinar. It is absolutely free. All right. All right. And don't forget, we have our IEP Insider newsletter. There's a new edition every Wednesday. So please make sure you are a subscriber. And if you are not a subscriber, become a subscriber. I'm going to drop the link right now for you to subscribe to our newsletter. And it is the new edition is dropping tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. So do make sure you are a subscriber, because you'll be the first to know once a new edition drops. So again, make sure you are a subscriber, and I am dropping that right now. Okay. All right. So again, tonight's topic is compliance versus reality in charter schools. Why paperwork isn't protection. All right. So hold up. Let me make sure I have everything straight. All right. So just so you all know, you can have perfect paperwork. You can have perfect paperwork, and that will not save you sometimes. Okay? You can have perfect, I'm going to say it again. You can have perfect paperwork, and you can still end up in a mess. You can still end up in litigation. Okay? Because we have to see, like, okay, compliance versus reality. All right. So compliance, when you are in compliance, you are in accordance with rules, laws on how to do something. Okay. So when it comes to special education, schools that provide special education services, they have to be in compliance with the students' IEPs. So students' IEPs have to be done annually. Reevaluations have to be done every 3 years. If they have an intellectual disability, it's every 2 years. They have to be in compliance with communicating with parents about the annual IEP, sending out the invitation. There's compliance with how the file should be. There's compliance with how you're supposed to progress monitor. There's compliance with how you're supposed to do and not write out the IEP. So compliance is basically you're following the rules, you're in accordance with the rules and the laws for something. Okay. Now, reality is what is really happening. Okay. So compliance versus um reality. So compliance, IEPs are being done on time. You have that documented. The IEPs are signed. You have the IEP completed. You have your time. You're meeting your timelines. You had your meetings on time. You have your paperwork that is signed by the team members or just by the parent. That's compliance. You're following the rules and the laws about that special education paperwork. But in reality, are you actually implementing that IEP? Are you actually providing those services? Are you doing what you put in that IEP? Did you actually collect the data? Are these accommodations actually occurring? Did you contact the parent? Like, are these things really happening in reality? Okay, so this is why we have hello, Ricardo. Hello, Ricardo. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So that's why tonight we're talking about compliance versus reality, because compliance is what is written down. So that's what's in that IEP and those documents. Reality is what's really happening in your school. Okay? What's really happening in your school. All right? So, all right. Paperwork isn't protection. Okay? I have to say that. Having your paperwork, that will not protect you. Paperwork and implementation of the services go hand in hand. Okay? You have to, yes, your paperwork has to be in order, it has to be compliant, but you also have to provide what's in those documents. Okay? Having proper paperwork, I'll say, is half the battle. All right? You also have to provide whatever you wrote in those reports, you have to provide it. Okay, so paperwork, it doesn't prove that you actually provided the services. You can easily write the report. You can easily write the IEP, put the goals, say the student requires speech for a certain amount of times a week, they require individual counseling, or they require occupational therapy. You can put all that in an IEP or in a report, but that doesn't mean you're actually implementing it. That doesn't mean you're actually providing the student with the services and you're implementing their IEP. Documentation can become evidence against you because, hey, you wrote the IEP, you said you were going to do these things, you wrote this report and you didn't do it. So that can land you in litigation because you said you was doing this, but you weren't. And then they have to see how long were you not providing these services, because then that's compensatory services going to the student. And this is how districts and networks have to pay out money because they didn't, in compensatory services, because they didn't provide the services that they had put in the IEP. Okay? And parents don't escalate a situation just because, oh, they didn't get a form or something, or because you just didn't call them. No, it's because you're ignoring them. It's like, no, they're non-existent to you. Or they're being ignored. They're asking you, they're trying to get answers about their child's IEP, and no one is communicating with them. No one is keeping them in the loop. No one is giving them progress reports to let them know about their child's IEP, or the progress reports they are getting is very vague. They're not getting the information that they require. So when you're dealing with that time after time after time, hey, parents will then escalate the situation. They will go to the superintendent. They will go to the director of the network or the CEO of the network. They will seek litigation. because they're like, hey, you're not listening to me. Let me get someone who can make you listen. Let me get someone who will listen to me, and then they can go and investigate on my behalf, because clearly I'm not getting what I need from my child's school. Okay? All right. So we said paperwork isn't protection because it doesn't prove that you provided those services at the school. The documentation can become evidence against you because you're saying you've done these things, but you haven't implemented them. So the paperwork isn't protecting you. And then parents don't escalate because of just like forms. No, it's child is not progressing. Services are inconsistent. You're ignoring the parent. Poor communication. All right. Or they feel dismissed. So they feel the need to escalate. Right. So we have that. That is actually happening in reality in a lot of charter schools. That is actually what's happening. So let's now go into, here is the protection, the real protection, aka systems you need to have in your charter school, okay? To so that way you don't run into these so that you don't run into just having your paperwork. No, you're actually providing and implementing the services in that paperwork, okay? So, number one, you can create a services tracker, a service delivery tracker. You can do this on an Excel sheet. You can basically have all the students, your case for your school, all the students, and it's easy to go to your IEP system that you use, download the caseload that appears, so then that way you can just add additional information, because when you download it from the IEP system, it's already going to have the students' names, their ID numbers, their date of birth, what their diagnosis is, what their grade is, and depending on your the IEP platform that you use, it'll even have the students' service delivery can be downloaded as well. If it doesn't, you can just type that information in. You can add that information in. Do they get OT? Do they get speech? How long? You can even have other tabs on your Excel sheet. You can have the OT schedule. You can have the speech schedule. So that way you can see when is the provider pulling the students for speech or pulling them for occupational therapy. Everything can be on a document, and you can have the SPED director has access to it, the special education teachers, as well as your principal, and even the related service providers. Any information you need to know about the delivery of services, it's right there, so you have it and you can see. And if you have questions as the administrator, you can check with your SPED director or your student services coordinator about what's going on. Okay? And I've been saying this so much, it's like I'm just keep hitting you over the head with this. Have a progress monitoring system. I can't stress this enough. Progress monitoring is your receipts as a school. Like your progress monitoring, those are your receipts. Okay? Those are your receipts. Hey, thank you for hey, how you doing? Progress monitoring, those are your receipts. Okay? So if you don't have a progress monitoring system, you are a liability now. Like you're a straight liability. Because your progress monitoring, that's your receipts. That is your proof that you're implementing services at your school. Okay? I don't know. I keep telling y'all, listen, y'all not taking me. Listen, I'm trying to tell you. I'm starting to think some of y'all like getting sued and you like getting into litigation. Litigation sucks. It's horrible. It is horrible. Some of you, it seems like you like to be in it. I don't like to be in litigation, and I don't like seeing schools in litigation, but you guys got to tighten up, get it together, get your progress monitoring systems in order, charter schools. Like, get them in order. Okay? So, and these are your receipts, your progress monitoring systems. Everything goes back to progress monitoring. Okay? It really, really does. All right? So, you have because with your progress monitoring, you get your baseline. You can start collecting data. You can make decisions based off of that data you collected. Is this working? Is this not? Those are your receipts. That's what can save you in a lawsuit, because you have your data and your receipts of everything you've been doing, and you've been doing it consistently with fidelity. Okay? Number 3, you can do accommodation implementation checks. This is quick. You can literally just have your list of teachers, and do a walkthrough to see, well, first, one, check the student's IEP to see what accommodations they are supposed to be provided. And then you can do a walkthrough. Did you see them? You can do a check-in with the teacher real briefly. What accommodations did you provide this student today? You can do a walkthrough to see that. Easy. Easy. And you can do this every other week. Do these check-ins. Okay? This is the part of our core framework, our review. You have to review to make sure your systems are working. But so many of you are operating with no systems. You got everything up here, or you got one person handling all of it. And when they leave your school, you are starting over again. You have absolutely nothing, then you're scrambling. Put your systems down on paper. Type them up. Put them on OneDrive. Your processes that you have. And review them quarterly. This is not rocket science. It's not. All right, last one. Parent communication. Consistently communicate with your parents. This can be a newsletter. This can be I know a lot of schools have been investing in those text messaging blast systems. You can do that. No parent should feel like they have to chase after the okay? They should not feel that way. Have consistent communication. You can do end of the week email or beginning of the week email. Beginning of the week, when I was still in the classroom, I sent out a what was it? I sent out a newsletter in the very beginning of the year. And I also was just, email was my thing. It was easy for me to shoot parents emails. And also I use Google Classroom for everything. And I told parents, hey, give me your email so I can add you to Google Classroom so that way you can get the notifications about the class too. That's about class. But then also my parents my caseload students, those parents, because I emailed, we kind of had a consistent email, going on. So they knew they could always send me an email. I remember one time I called a parent. She didn't know it was me at first. And then she said, oh, Miss Bashir, it's you? Okay, I'm here. She tried to lie and said she wasn't where she was. And then she said, oh, Miss Bashir, it's you? Okay, we can talk. But because she knew we consistently just had, I didn't just call when it was something bad going on. I called when we had consistent communication. Okay? So just having good paperwork isn't going to cut it. No, you have to implement what you're doing. Okay? So in addition to having the great paperwork, yes, have a service delivery tracker, do accommodation check-ins, have consistent communication with your parents, and have a progress monitoring system. Okay? I like the idea of newsletters. I loved Remind 101 to send out blasts and being able to text parents individually as well without giving my number. Yes, I like that. And a lot of teachers like it because, yes, you don't want to give out your personal number. And yes, are the received 101 with my class. I used it when I was a scout leader, but in school, what did we use in school? I know some, what is it called? Class Dojo. That was something that was used, that was really popular. And also Remind 101. We used that a lot. Yes. All right. So, please remember, paperwork won't just save you. Paperwork and the implementation go hand in hand. Okay? If you're not providing that service, don't put it in an IEP. If they require it and it's being recommended, then you have to provide it. Okay, but do know whatever you put in that IEP, you have to do it. And you have to show proof that you're doing it. How do you show proof? Progress monitoring will help you with showing your proof. You need help with your progress monitoring system? You need to attend our Progress Monitoring 101 webinar that's taking place next Tuesday, January the 27th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm dropping the link again. Okay? All right. Listen, you guys got to get this in order. Get that progress monitoring in order. Now, if your school has paperwork but no consistent system behind it, you don't have protection. You are a liability. You're just a lawsuit waiting to happen. Okay? You need to book a call with the IEP coach and you need to see how we can support your school with getting your systems in place. All right? And if this is you, you're doing paperwork and you have no systems behind it, you need to book a call with us. I am dropping it in the comments now. Okay? And it's also in the show notes, in the description. Our link is there as well. It is in the link is in our bio as well. You need to book a call with us and have us book a call with us so we can support your school with getting your systems created, because you cannot, I don't know how you're running your schools without, I don't know how you're running your special education department without systems. I don't understand. I really don't. It is impossible to run special education without systems. You need system. You're lacking is your progress monitoring system as well as your case management system. Okay? You're missing both. Okay? Book a call with us and get us in your school so we can support you with setting your systems up. Okay? Any questions? Any questions about what we talked about tonight? Compliance versus reality? Or if you have a special education question, feel free, go right ahead and drop your question in the comments now. And I know it takes you a minute to type, so take your time. Take your time. Take your time. Any questions? Any questions? All right, let me see. Let me check all of our platforms. Let's see. Okay. What's your favorite progress monitoring tool? Okay. So I have used AimsWeb. I really like that for my caseload because one, I was able to add my whole caseload to their system, and then I was able to assign them their progress monitoring probes. So like I was able to print out their usernames, passwords. I could give them the computer and say, hey, I sent you a probe to do. I could give them their laptop and have them complete their probe, or I could print it out and give it to them on paper. And I like the fact that it then, like when they did it online, it automatically uploaded their score and then it would graph it for me. So across the quarter, we can see how I could see how the student did, and it would do like a I was able to see the trends in my students' data. So I really like that because then I could cut and copy that graph and I can paste it into their IEP so it was easy to show parents like the actual growth from the data points. So I use AimsWeb, and I like AimsWeb because you could do math, you could do reading on AimsWeb. I've also used I forget the name every single time. What is it? Easy CBM? No, I may be saying it wrong. What is it called? Is it Easy CBM? I may be pronouncing it. I may be calling this the wrong thing, but when I was an ESY tutor, I used that to keep track of my students, the probes I was doing with the students, because I was doing let me see, math fluency. I was doing math fluency, reading fluency, and I used that particular tool. My school bought that tool to use, and it's one more. When I left the school, this system was brand new. Oh my God, who was it? Because it helped with not necessarily progress monitoring, but it helped with goal writing. But I can't remember the name of it. And it's messed up because they didn't even give it enough time. They didn't allow us to use it enough to really get to get to the see how it could really really help us. But Ames Web, and was it Easy CBM? I feel like it's Easy CBM. I think that's what it's called. But I like those two. Those are ones I use because one, I could be online and I can put my scores in online and it could create a chart for me. But I'll say Ames Web, I liked it the best because I could set up accounts for my students and I could send them their progress monitoring probes um, to do, and then it would automatically upload their scores and create a chart for me. So I liked Ames Web the best. And at first I didn't like Ames Web, but the reason I didn't like it is because I didn't get any training on it initially. But then once I got training on it, I was like, oh, okay, I see how this is beneficial. I see how this can work for me. And I learned how to use it and I fell in love with it. So yeah. Thank you for that question. Let's see. Any more questions? Do we have any more questions? And it is okay if you don't have a question. You can send us your questions later. You can email us. You can send us a DM. We are very responsive on our social media. We are at the IEP Coach LLC. You can send your questions. We're very responsive. But yes, so if we don't have any more questions, we're going to go ahead and get on out of here. Yes, we are. Please remember to be kind to yourself. Please remember your capacity and don't push past it, because when you push past capacity, you get burnt out. Okay. Be kind to yourself, and we will not be live next week because we have our webinar next week, Progress Monitoring 101. I'm going to drop the link one more time. I've been hitting y'all over the head about this progress monitoring because it's so important. So I'm going to drop the link one more time. And we will not see you next week. We will see you February the 2nd. So February 3rd. I think, yeah, February 3rd is the following Tuesday. We will not see you next week because we have our webinar. So be safe and keep warm. Oh my gosh, it is cold. All right. See you in February 3rd. Peace.